Welcome, everyone. I'm glad that you are here, joining on whatever median, device, technology, stream that you are on to get here. I appreciate that you're here. And I'm excited today to start talking a little bit about mapping our emotions. So let's go ahead and just jump right in and get started with the episode. So mapping our emotions, it's something that I actually been learning in my PCP certification that I'm getting. They talk about a lot of focus on people and how to lead a good team and how to deal with customers and clients and situations and high pressure and high stress. I mean, all of that goes into project management. And so they talk about this idea of mapping your emotions, or I think I'm calling it mapping your emotions, and they call it something like emotional awareness, right? I think mapping your emotions is more of the act of becoming emotionally aware. So there are so many good books out there. There are so many good topics that have a wealth of information that I do not have. But I would love to talk about kind of how I've been working on that, how I've instituted that a little bit in my own life, and maybe kind of what that might look like for you guys. So a couple resources off the bat. If you're looking for some good resources, there are some awesome emotional conversations being talked about on the Entree Leadership podcast hosted by the Ramsey Solutions team. Awesome podcast. Subscribe. Definitely. Please do it. Great podcast. They're always talking about emotions, it feels like every few months. So really good on that. Dare to Lead by Brene Brown, I think, also talks about emotions and kind of how to handle it. Really good stuff. We all have emotions. We all know, I think, for the most part, that emotions do control us. As much as we would maybe like them to not control us, they do control us, and they add a layer of complexity to the human mind, right? When we have emotions and when we're interpreting information, those emotions impact the information that we're interpreting. So if you tell me, hey Jesse, I hope you have a good day, right? If I was just maybe in a disagreement or argument with you, that might come off as potentially sarcastic, right? I might be using that disgruntled or frustratedness that's in my own brain, interpreting that comment that you gave me as maybe sarcastic or not genuine, when maybe you intended it as genuine, right? There are these filters that get placed and make it really, really difficult to see beyond. We do a pretty good job, I think, as humans, most days through most interactions that we have. It's that when we're tired, it's when we're exhausted, it's when we're at these different peak moments that these emotions change the way in which our brain thinks and functions. And that is what the PMP certification talks about a little bit, is becoming aware of when you're in that moment, right? So some examples of emotional mapping I'm doing. When I'm tired, when I'm exhausted and I get little sleep, I'm a pessimist. That's just what I've found in my life as I've become aware. I'm a pessimist. I say things I shouldn't say. I am willing to, share negative views about how I think something's going. And that's not a really good leadership quality to have. So I would take that information knowing that, hey, when Jesse's tired, Jesse becomes a pessimist and opens his mouth. And when I'm in a situation that I'm going into work and I'm tired, right? Kids screaming all night or whatever. I shouldn't say screaming, kids keeping you up at night. And you get into work, know that, okay, I'm a pessimist. Whatever I see today is going to be under that filtering of pessimism. And it's really not that bad. And I will gain some clarity on the other side of today. Probably one of the most practical things that we all experience is being hangry, right? Being a little grumpy, being a little angry when you're hungry, a little hangry. I think that it's just kind of common, right? That one I think is a little obvious. And so one of the things is my instructor when we were going through the course talked about is like, hey, figure out how do you handle situations when you are tired, when you are hungry, when you are, right? He listed a lot of natural things, when you are overworked, when you are stressed, what is your natural go-to? And when you are aware of those things, when you have mapped your emotions, you can better interpret meetings and better communicate in a more consistent way at work. And that's what I've found, is that it's very helpful when I go in. Granted, I still have emotions and I'm not whittling them away. I'm becoming aware of how my brain is interpreting information so I can best categorize it. If my brain's going to interpret some, as everything is pessimistic, then I can then triage that information to make the best available choice in that moment, or go, you know what, I'm going to get back to you tomorrow. I'm going to get some sleep tonight, and I'm going to be able to really give you a good answer tomorrow. I do want to take a side moment to say, if you're not so much into the whole emotions thing, I would really look it up. I'd really do some digging. Again, I'm not an expert. I do not have a lot of amazing answers or resources. I did not write the book on this thing, right? But emotions do drive so much of our life. They do control so many scenarios. And I have heard again and again entrepreneurs that get on the EntreLeadership podcast, these people who didn't believe in emotions, didn't believe in therapists, didn't believe in any of this stuff, begin to unlock some awareness around emotions, and the impact it had on them personally and the impact that it had on their business is astounding. So I would encourage you to do some of your own digging. When you find some awesome stuff, post it, comment it, add it to beginningtobegin.com, right? Share it, because I think it is very important, especially if you haven't been a whole, quote unquote emotional person in your life. It's good to be aware of how that drives you and what's kind of going on, and how you interpret your brain, anyways, all that stuff. Just side note on that. I've recently been teaching my daughter. We've been teaching her this phrase, my wife and I: you are in control of you, right? This simple idea that there's self-control. She's been going through an emotional stage, which is normal, developing that, a depth of emotions, and it's been beautiful to see, and just to see how much she can care and how much, right, this other ranges of emotions, this depth that is coming with her maturity is astounding, to be honest. But with that, life becomes more difficult. And so we have been reiterating, you are in control of you. And of course, we're trying to give her tools and resources. And I maybe don't have the best tools and resources, as I've already admitted to. But it's been really cool to see how she can take a breath. And, even as a 3, almost 4-year-old, can gain control of her emotions, gain control of how she is feeling in that moment, and change. Now, that is definitely not always the outcome, but it is very empowering to see, and I'm encouraged myself and realizing, hey, if my 4-year-old can take control of her emotions, and, it can be, her favorite dolly got left at home and went to the store, and she's having a hard time and she's bawling, right? She is interpreting life in very strong extremes, but if she can calm down, take control of herself, and feed herself the right information, it helps, right? And this is kind of where I'm transitioning. Maybe I need to make it more clear, but that's the other piece that comes in with emotions that I'm finding, is there are some things that are just out of control. There are some things that I just get so worked up about, I get so stressed out about, and it's out of my control, literally 100%, right? It's not for me to worry about, it's not mine, but I have taken upon myself to become hyper emotional about it, where it impacts other areas of my work. And what I need to do is to take my own advice and training, and I need to take control, and I'm in control of how I act. I'm in control of what I do. And this is one of the things we've been teaching our daughter is, I've been telling her, we left your stuffed animal at home. and that hurts, but are we going to go get it right now? And she's like, no, we're not. I'm like, okay, great. So how can we move forward? If you know the outcome and you have no control over it, how can we move forward? So I always ask her, so what can we do? And she says, I think she answered like, when we go home, I can get it. And I'm like, that would be great. Very basic answer, very basic, right? But it's the same thing I think of as adults. Like when I'm stressing about something that's out of my control, like I need to shed that so that I can focus and get what I need done. And I think as I have begun mapping my own emotions, as I have started going down this and seeing a lot of the really small basic rewards right out of the gate, which was really cool to see, I've found that I can become aware of when I'm stressing out over something I don't need to, and take a deep breath and shed that and not worry about the outcome, which then gives me more capacity and more brain power to focus on other things. Anyways, wrapping up, guys, emotions matter so much. They impact literally everything we do. I keep saying that, but they really do. So rather than letting a regrettable situation happen, let's map our emotions to reduce that possible regret, rather than having that outburst in the meeting, or being so frustrated you don't say what you need to say, or whatever it is. Rather than having that regrettable moment, let's map our emotions so we can be aware how our brains are interpreting those moments, so that we can best answer and triage what's going on in our day-to-day. If you're interested to talk more on this topic, I am too. It's something that's been kind of fun for me to start exploring, is this topic of emotions. I would love to connect on a Zoom call. We can drink some tea, we can drink some coffee, we can chat about this exact topic or any other topics. I'm always open to do that. My goal here is to build a community to encourage you to foster, something inside of you to get what you need done. And as I'm journeying through my own beginnings and my own starting in my career and everything that's going on, I just want to encourage you and give you some of the tidbits that I'm learning along the way. Anyways, with that, thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.